Yeah, it's Mindset Café, we all about that mindset. Gotta stay focused, never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes, only positive thoughts.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Cafe podcast. It's your boy, Devin Gonzalez, and I just want to say, congratulations for making it through the year. We're nearing the end of the year, and with that, the next episode we'll go into, some New Year's resolution stuff and some mindset things around that. But today I wanted to kind of cover something that I want you to kind of recap your year in a specific mindset of your relationships, of your partnerships, whether it's professional, whether it's, significant other, friends, whatever the case may be. But I want you to recap your year and your interactions with your circle, because today's topic, I heard this, analogy, but it's 1 + 1 = 11, right? And most people are doing 1 + 1 = 2, or, a half and a half equal 1. And no, honestly, like this whole thing really made me think about that meaning of 1 + 1 = 11, because it's not about the math. It's about the identity and about the meaning behind it, right? The key idea of it is that 1 + 1 stay as two ones side by side. They stay intact, right? Sorry if my voice is going a little out, in and out, kind of a little under the weather, but you don't become a watered down version of yourself to be with someone else or to partner with someone else, right? To make a whole, right? You stay intact and you stay you, and that's what brings that value to the equation for the other person, right? The 11, it's a kind of a flex, right? If you're in a relationship that's a 1 + 1 = 11 kind of relationship or partnership or friendship, right? That is something that a lot of people struggle to be. And the reason it's a flex on other relationships is because you don't disappear together, right? Many relationships will fail because one person feels like they are dissolving their identity essentially dissolves, or their goals or their standards to be in a relationship or in a partnership or side by side with this other person, right? Some people think that a partnership means that you're merging into one person or into one whole, and that's not it. That's called losing yourself. That's called losing the value that you bring to the table. So think about this we'll take it to the extreme, right? If, let's say you're all about working out, and hopefully you are, but let's say you're all about working out and your significant other is not. And so you start skipping workouts and you start, kind of being lazy and eating the junk food and all kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you start to become like them, and you start to resent them for that a little bit. And that resentment starts to build up. And in your mind, you are kind of thinking, well, I gave up for us. Like, I gave up on my fitness journey because I wanted to be with you. And like, that's not it, right? You guys don't have to always do everything the same. You guys can have separate goals. You guys can have, your own lives and your own ambitions, but you guys should be on the same journey and same path, that you guys have a similar or a common goal or a common, destination that you guys are going for, right? Because at the end of the day, the enemy formula of this 1 + 1 = 11 is that half plus half equals 1, right? Because it's a trap, right? That codependence, is kind of disguised as closeness, right? If you have to shrink to become chosen, that's not alignment. That's negotiation with your identity, right? For example, you stop seeing friends, or you stop pursuing your goals, or you stop being disciplined, and then you blame the relationship for that. Like that's not the relationship's fault. You chose to do those things, right? You chose to shrink down to fit a role that you thought you had to fit, when in reality that was not the person that partner or that significant other signed on to be with anyways. Like, they didn't sign on for you to become like them or to fit into this box, right? You brought something to the table, and what that actually means is you brought a standard, or you brought um a value to the table, to the relationship, right? Because value isn't just, looks or money or vibes, it's standards. A great partner isn't just smart, they're consistent, they keep their promises, they show up when it's boring, right? Each of you, the two ones, need alignment, not sameness, right? I'll say that again. Both of you guys need alignment, not sameness. You don't have to be the same person. You're not trying to be one. You just need to be in alignment of where you guys are going. But you can stay true to yourself and still move in that direction. The key distinction for this is that knowing that you guys have shared values, and that's going to be greater than having maybe shared hobbies. Your shared values is what the relationship is about. You don't need identical personalities. You don't need, man, if me and my wife had identical personalities, that shit would not work. I'll tell you that, right? I'm a little more sarcastic, straightforward. She is definitely not, right? But at the same time, if she was, okay. That wasn't a thing I was looking for, was someone with completely opposite personality of me. Like, that's her being her and her own personalities. If that is a value that I see in her. And same with me, right? She doesn't want me to be soft. She doesn't want me to try to be someone that I'm not. But what you do need in a relationship or a partnership or whatever the case might be is identical commitment to the growth, to honesty, and to respect for not just yourselves, but for each other. And not just for each other, but yourselves. So both ways. It's a two-way street on that. Okay? I want the importance of the 11 to also kind of bring light to the fact that it's, the 2 is obviously less than 11, but when both of you guys are your true selves and you guys are elevating each other, right? You're not just moving up a little bit forward to that second position too, but it can elevate you and shoot you way up and make you or elevate you to the person that you can be, or that they know you can be, right? Because sometimes you have self-doubt. Sometimes you have, moments of, contemplation in your head of, am I doing the right thing, or whatever the case may be. And they're your person to lean on, right? Let's say in a business partnership, one person might be the visionary, the person that does the branding or the relationships, and the other person is a lot stronger on the operations and execution and systems. But together, both of those bring speed and stability and growth, right? So both of you guys can't be the same all the time in every direction, or else that's not an effective partnership, right? In the equation 1 + 1, that plus sign, I don't want you to think that it's just that, oh, me and someone else. Like, that plus sign isn't just an and. That's communication, right? You and another person that are in great communication with each other, that can be honest with each other, that can tell each other if, you're not doing this, and you're not living up to who you could be. That's great communication, right? Two strong people can still crash if there isn't translation that needs to be had, or if there's no boundaries that are set or expectations that are set, right? Whether it's a relationship or whether it's a business partnership, realize there's still expectations, there's still boundaries, but also there still needs to be communication of those things. You guys aren't mind readers, and neither is the other person. So make sure that you know that that communication is the bond that is going to allow you guys to elevate. Because people don't fight because they hate each other. Most of the time, honestly, they fight because they just assume, or they misinterpreted, or they avoided, or they stay silent for too long, which turns into resentment. Like, communication is the thing that solves most of those. So take that into consideration, and maybe that's something that you need to work on so that you can be a 1 + 1 = 11 relationship or partnership or friendship, right? Most relationships don't really fall apart in those big moments. They slowly erode in the small ones. And even though the moment can seem like it came and passed and you think everything is fine, if there was no communication to recap or to discuss why something made you feel a certain way, then how does that other person know to not do that again? Or how does that other person know you felt a certain way if you hit it, emotionally because you guys are in public? Like, it's going to happen again. That's where that communication is so crucial, right? The 11 effect, though, it comes around because of accountability, right? The goal isn't really to manage each other. It's more to sharpen each other, if that makes sense, right? Because you're not trying to manage the other person, right? That's not a relationship. You're there to sharpen or elevate each other, which elevates both of you guys. A great partner isn't going to let you spiral unchecked. They're not going to, but they're also not going to shame you. They're going to call you up. They're not going to call you out in public, right? You have to realize in a relationship, especially, one thing I've heard and I thought was so awesome of a point is, in public, you guys never discuss your guys' arguments in front of other people, right? That's your guys' business. You defend, all that kind of stuff. You lift someone up, all that stuff. And then in private, you guys can talk about how you felt. You can, have your arguments and so forth, right? Because conflict isn't going to be the red flag. It's really not. If you guys aren't fighting or don't have a little bit of conflict every now and then, that might be kind of a red flag, right? And red flag meaning that who is starting to merge their identity or belittle their identity to fit the relationship, because that's not going to last very long before the person gets bottled up so tight that they can't, do it anymore, right? So conflict's not the red flag. It's the style of conflict that is, right? Every partnership, every relationship is going to have friction. The question is, though, whether the friction produces light or a fire, right? Do we fight to win or do we fight to understand? I'll repeat that part again because I think that is so crucial maybe for you to realize going into this new year. How you handle your relationships and your conversations or your communication with people is every partnership, every relationship, every friendship, it's going to have friction. But the question is whether the friction produces light, meaning understanding, or fire, right, which is going to burn the relationship. Are you fighting to win the fight or to win the argument? Or are you fighting to understand where they're coming from and for them to understand where you're coming from? Realize that with that part, great partnerships, relationships, friendships, whatever, what may have you, they're not built on just feelings and vibes and all that other foo-foo, BS. They're built on principles, right? Principles, standards of what are your non-negotiables? What are their non-negotiables? Where are you trying to get to? What kind of goals do you have? And so forth. That alignment is what makes a great partnership, friendship, relationship, again, whatever the case may be. But I just want to kind of close with the fact that even though there's going to be friction, which is good, right? Because that's how you understand and that's how you elevate. The more you understand, the more knowledge that you have, the better equipped you are to move forward, right? But the warning sign in that is when the 11 starts to turn into not 1 + 1, but 1 verse 1, right? Because 1 verse 1 does not equal 11. That equals 0, right? That's the fastest way to kill a relationship, to kill a partnership, to kill a friendship, is turning everything into a competition or resentment. What I mean by that is, I do more than you. I always initiate. I'm always the responsible one. I'm always blah, 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 right? So if you feel like those kind of conversations are being had, maybe set some boundaries. Maybe set some expectations. Maybe define your roles in the relationship, in the partnership, right? And set it so everyone is understood of what is expected, what is required, and so forth, right? I just want you to think of it about this part too, is like, are you in a relationship that makes you more you or less you? I challenge you to think about your relationship, to think about your friendships, your partnerships, whatever the case may be, professionally, romantically. Are you in a relationship that makes you more of you or less of you? Because if the answer is less of you, you might want to reevaluate, or maybe it's time for a conversation. And that conversation will allow you to start to feel more like you and allow the relationship to start to elevate to an 11. With that being said, though, guys, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to shoot it over a DM. And make sure you guys have a great rest of your year. And let's kill it next year in 2026.
No negative vibes, only positive thoughts. Just in the game of life, mindset causes shots. Got my mind on the prize, I can't be distracted. I stay on my grind, no time to be slacking. I hustle hard, I go get